Hello everyone, today we have a new video report. As you remember, we started a group build which is dedicated to World War II US armor. So here I have a picture of the kit I'm building at the moment, but we are going to share several other reports from guys who are also building and participating in this group build. So we are going to start with Nikki. So Nikki decided to build Zvezda 135 Sherman, the same kit as me, but he also added Edward PE parts, and also, as you can see, there is a resin set of Russian tank crew World War II. His assembly started with a suspension, so as you can see, he assembled all wheels and drivetrain bogies. It's something you can't avoid in a Sherman build. I also did it, but I decided to follow the assembly manual. You will see it further in the video review. Here he shows that overall fitment is really nice, and he didn't encounter any extra problems or issues, so it was quite a straightforward assembly. On the next photo we can see these resin figures, so we have a torso provided separately with a head. And overall casting quality looks really good, so I think that's really cool addition that he decided to use these resin figures. They should add a more realistic appearance to overall build. And the last photo shows that he started assembling the lower hull section and the turret, so I guess soon we will see full hull assembly and tank will be ready to be painted. Now we can move to the build from Pete. So he is building the Dragon Wagon, and as you can see, it's a quite large build. It's a completely different sized model, and here we can see left side and engine cover attached on the chassis. Next he installed steering and air tanks on the same sub-assembly. And one more step was a brake and air cylinders glued to the frame. As you can see, there is also drive shaft and transfer case also glued to the frame. So that's a really detailed build, and it will be interesting to see what will be the next. And third participant of our group build is Camille. So he decided to build 148 scale Tamiya Sherman, which is pretty decent kit. Here you can see he submitted some photos of the spruce. So I would say it's pretty much the same as what we can get in 135 scale from Tamiya, so it's easy to assemble kit, and Camille only enjoyed build, so let's check the photos of the actual project. So everything started with the lower hull section. He glued the transmission cover to the lower hull section and then started assembling the back parts together. Next he glued them to the lower hull, and here you can see that fitment is quite nice. And following step was to assemble the deflector. So of course on the next step he glued it to the lower hull section as well. And next step involved assembly of the drive sprocket and idler wheels and the whole suspension as well. Gluing rolled wheels to the suspension wasn't difficult, and next he decided to glue the suspension parts and wheels to the lower hull section. Here you can see the overall fitment. Next the upper hull follows. So he glued minor parts like horn, machine gun to the upper hull, and all these minor features actually enliven the overall appearance of this part. Next was a stowage holder, and then it gets glued to the upper hull as well in the rear part. Here you can see dry fitting between lower and upper hull sections together, and then he also glued the minor things to the upper hull. After this he proceeded to assemble the turret. Here you can see cannon barrel and minor items glued to the turret. And he decided to dry fit the glued tracks to the lower hull section so that he can remove them for easier painting. It's quite a wise step because it will make it easier to achieve a proper paint finish on these parts. And then he also decided to test the overall dry fitment between all the parts. Here we should also remember that Tamiya kits also include the figure, so here you can see this one and only figure included into the kit. He was dry fitted into the commander cupola. As a next step, Camille decided to add the overall texture to the armor, so here you can see it. And of course the towing cable was glued to the hull so that it will be present on the model before painting and weathering. Camille decided to scratch build the tarpaulin and put it on the machine gun, so here you can see the overall finish. The same step was also applied to the stowage holder, so it was applied on one side only. He made tarpaulin with a piece of napkin and PVA glue. It's a white glue, we all know this. It was stained with water, and then he just placed this napkin where he wanted it and brushed with PVA glue. One more detail feature he decided to add to the model is the shell impact on the turret, and here you can see it on the photos. So he made shell impact by drilling a hole to the turret with a hobby knife and then widening it with it. When he was happy with the result, he placed there a small amount of putty and pushed it away so that it looked like the shell just bounced off the turret armor. On the last photo you can see the wooden box, which was made out of side fenders from Zvezda 1/72 scale Yacht Panther, and then this box was placed in the rear storage holder. Quite an interesting idea, which would add visual interest to the model. So next we can proceed with my build. Hello guys, so we start our building session, and as you can see we will be building the Sherman as I said before, and I'm planning to start with this sprue. I mean, the assembly manual says to start with this sprue. So what do we have here is the sprue with turret parts. So basically you start assembly with the turret, and one thing which already caught my attention is that this sprue is not marked with any letter. So it is a sprue with the letter A, but you won't find it anywhere here, and the only thing where you can find it is here. So you have to search all around and then try to find, or just rotate the sprue and check the tag on the rear side. Obviously this is not such a comfortable thing to use, and I would rather prefer something more, I would say, visible, maybe just a normal proper letter on the sprue, but we have what we have, so let's start working with this thing. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this small video report. Stay tuned for more parts where we'll be working further on these builds. Thank you for watching and do not forget to press the like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Bye!